Okay, so you know that when you go to coursework on my homepage, it's automatically going to take you to where you need to get started. And it's called a module, and you'll be working your way through a module every week. I want you to try to take your time getting through that. However, your goal is to get to Friday, which this date is wrong. It's actually the 4th. Your goal is to get to Friday and try to have 12 points when you are finished. There are certain things at each level that you're going to have to complete in order to get there. So this is your weekly plan. And this is kind of just starting us out this week, so I kind of gave you lots of different variety of objects or items that you might see throughout the school year. And there's probably going to be more that come up, and I'll have to teach you about them as we go. But for now, I just kind of wanted you to see what the plans look like. So you have on Monday, Tuesday, depending on if you have 1 through 4 class or 5 through 8 class. So Mondays, those 1 through 4 would start. And if you are in class, you're going to do these things in class. But if you are in remote, if you are B, I still want you to come in. So the first thing that you will have every morning is a check-in time with your first hour. So everybody's first hour, you will be checking in at home through Zoom to just check in and get attendance. But I want you to come in to my Zoom every Monday or Tuesday, depending on if you have me on Monday block or Tuesday block. And here's the reason why. Because during that time, I'm going to set you up so that you don't have to wait all week to get started and then feel very rushed. You have 1 full week to work on this. So the people that are in class on Monday and Tuesday will get me right there. But you, people that are on remote, you're still going to get me. You're just going to get me through Zoom. So I will have a short little mini lesson where I'm going to be introducing some cool phenomenon to start it out. I might be in costume. Sometimes I have special guests. Sometimes I'm singing songs. Sometimes I might be just doing some explosions or whatever. So you don't want to miss that because I'm not going to record those. They're just going to be about 10 minutes to get you started. So think about that for sure on Mondays and Tuesdays. Now Thursdays and Fridays, it's going to be the same way. Thursday and Friday, you'll see that same little mini lesson. And during that time, you will get some kind of information about finishing up the week. So I really strongly encourage that. Throughout this week, you're going to be doing some things to kind of get us ready for all of this, but one of them is a mini lesson form that you will see coming up probably on Wednesday. This form is going to ask you how and if you can come in during that mini lesson during your regular time. So if you are in my 3rd hour, you would be doing that Zoom time for 10 minutes at the beginning of 3rd hour. If that time does not work for you because you're watching siblings or you're Zooming with some other teacher or something else is going on, then I will give you some options of other hours to come into. I just have to have that on a piece of paper so I can keep track of who I've talked to. And then if that still does not work because you're going to be busy all day doing whatever, then I will set up a time for you. Man, if I have to, I'll come to your house and do the mini lesson in your driveway. I will figure out a way to get to you. So please, those mini lessons are super, super important. And from what I know, I think I'm the only one on the team that is going to be doing those. So please try to come into those mini lessons, okay? All right, the other thing is feedback and grades. So because you have 12 points to get there, you are not going to get a grade for every single thing that you go through. It will not show up in your Infinite Campus. The only thing that will show up in Infinite Campus is your checklist. And the checklist will tell me how many points out of 12 you received. And then your final test. Your final test will also be recorded in the gradebook and Infinite Campus. The rest of these things you will get credit or points for to help you know that you pass them to move on to the next thing. Because some of these things will not open until you get the right score. You'll get lots of feedback from me, but you will not get as many grades. You'll get 2 grades a week at this point, and then when we have a big project towards the end of the quarter, you'll probably only get 1 with some feedback, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. So you'll see also the DOK, that stands for Depth of Knowledge. Depth of Knowledge ones are basic information where you're just getting informations by notes, by videos, by Edpuzzles. Some of you probably know what that is, but you're just gathering information. Because of the pretest, there may be points in the year that you don't even have to do a DOK one. Like you get to pass it because you already understand those DOK ones. And so you'll move automatically to the next step, and that will open up for you without you having to do anything. The DOK 2s are going to be Depth of Knowledge 2, are going to be your last. So that's where you're going to be doing things with the information that you've learned. Now, if you do not score a 4 point on these, then it will automatically redirect you back to the DOK 1, even if you weren't there the first time, to gather information on which way you choose. Now, it will tell you right here, it says you must do all items this week. However, most of the time it will say do 2 of them. So you are required to do 2 of them before you can move on, but you can do all 3 because each one of these will give you 2 points, 2, 4, 6. So you'll have 3 options probably every week. So you could do all 3 of these set and get is what I call them, and that would give you already 6 points. Okay, if you skip that, everybody, even if you started a DOK 1, automatically has to do a DOK 2. Again, you only have to do 1 of them. However, this week you're going to do both of them. But if you do both of them, that gives you 8 points. So already you're at your limit. You don't have to do any more. I will encourage you, though, to keep going because you have some other options here. Besides the labs, usually you're going to have a hands-on lab and a virtual lab. This week they're both going to be like demonstration labs where you're going to be writing some information. Then DOK 3s are going to be discussions or some kind of form that you're filling out or information where you're collaborating a little more with your fellow members of your class. So we're going to use something called Flipgrid to do our discussion with, or we might use discussions through Canvas where there will be links to get to those, so don't worry about that. But each one of these is also going to be worth 4 points, so you could technically do both. And then finally, you have your DOK 4s. This is the top level, but these are also going to be worth more points. They're going to be 6 points each. So again, you could do both of them, and I encourage you to do them this week because this gives me information. So I really want all of these done this week because they're short and sweet. But these are usually going to be a little bit more time commitment and a little bit more depth of knowledge from you. But this one, you'll have like maybe something you have to create, like create a lab, create a collage, create something. And then the other one is going to be actually probably some kind of talking either to your parents, and you fill out something, or an expert, or contacting someone or something. So these are going to be a little bit more information and a little bit more writing. When you're all finished with your week, at the very end, you'll see something called a checklist. That checklist has to be filled out before you can move to the test. That checklist will tell you to go check your grades. So when you go to your grades, it will bring up a section for each week. And in that section, you will be able to see how many points that you have turned in for the week's activities. And then you will fill out that checklist. And then finally, when your checklist is turned in, it will open up the test. And on the test, you will get 2 possible chances to take it. I want you to pass the test with at least a 60%. And if you take it the first time and you fail it, you have to wait 24-hour period before you can take it again. At that point, that is possibility that you take it again. However, it can't be taken without my guidance, and so you'll have to make an appointment with me in order to get that done. So again, you're going to get lots of feedback from me through your assignments that you submit. I will be writing all over your assignments, sending you videos, all kinds of things to make sure you're on the right track. And don't worry, I'll check in with you if I don't hear from you. But that kind of gives you a little idea of what your week looks like. Again, you're going to have options of things to do, so you can do all the way across in a DOK, or you can move your way down to something more complex if you get to that point, and do a 6-pointer and not have to do much else. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You'll kind of play around with it as you go. And again, this may have to change based on how we're feeling. I'm going to get lots of feedback from you guys to make sure that it's something that will work. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And then as your exit ticket, I just want you to click on the link below to tell me if you understand the weekly plan. Thank you.